So first things first, thank you so much for being here and welcome to the Intermountain Gas Energy Efficiency or HVAC contractor training. We're really excited. This is our first time being able to do something like this. Before we get it started, I wanted to have Lori Blattner come up. She's the Director of Regulatory Affairs at Intermountain Gas, and just have a few words for you guys. So, thanks.
Yeah, Lori.
You guys are pretty lively this morning for 7 o'clock. So, good morning. We're just really glad to be able to welcome you all here. And Intermountain has had natural gas in the area since the 1950s, and it's been partnerships with folks like you guys that has made our business a success. And so we just really appreciate the good relationship that we have with all of the HVAC folks in the area. And we're excited to be able to offer this new program. We think it's a benefit for our customers. Hopefully, you guys have found it to be a benefit for you in helping to find customers a good solution on HVAC equipment. And so this is just one more step, hopefully making the whole process easier and better for you and better for the customers. So thank you again for coming. We're glad to have you all here.
So I'm just going to give you the who, what, where, when, why, that sort of thing of the contractor portal, but we're going to start it with just a quick 30,000-foot view of the Intermountain Gas Energy Efficiency Program for anybody who's not familiar. Is there anybody in here who's never submitted a rebate, never heard of it, anything like that? Yeah, we got one. Okay, so Intermountain Gas services, like Lori said, 350,000 residential, commercial, and industrial customers across our service territory, which ranges from the western border of Idaho over to the eastern border, down to the southern border, and up north from Weiser to St. Anthony, and just follows the Snake River Basin, essentially. The energy efficiency program right now is limited to residential rebates only, and there's two types of rebates that we offer: appliance rebates and whole home rebates. In order to be eligible for the appliance rebates, you must be an Intermountain Gas customer. You must have installed a high-efficiency appliance, must submit the rebate application within 90 days of the fire date, and the appliance installation must be in line with state building code and energy code. To be eligible for the whole home rebate, the home must be Energy Star and have a home energy rating score or HERS score of 75 or lower. So why would we make a contractor portal? Well, we got feedback from contractors like yourself that said that that's what they wanted, a quicker way to submit rebates. It allows you guys quick access to the information that you need. It adds another tool to your toolkit to help you sell high-efficiency appliances. And it helps expedite the rebate process into a single online form that you can do on a computer, phone, or tablet and submit the whole thing online. You don't have to print it off and mail it in. Intermountain wanted to expedite the whole rebate process as much as we could to help us give out more rebates and then help you guys sell more high efficiency appliances. So what is the portal? It allows you guys, like I said, to gain quick access to your information that you need, and it's divided into 3 portions on the Intermountain Gas website. If you go into the energy efficiency tab, like we will here in just a second, Mr. Cody will walk you through, and it's got the program updates, news, and then the actual rebate forms themselves. So from here, we're going to take it to the actual portal itself, and Cody will kind of walk you through how to use it and access it and everything like that.
Good. I'm going to have John drive for me just because there's going to be some entry things as well, and it'll be easier if he's putting that in. So to access the portal, you'll want to go to our energy efficiency page. It's intgas.com/saveenergy. Should have written it on the board, but
yeah. It's all, and all those
we'll
pamphlets
put on there.
are out.
Yeah, it's on all those pamphlets you have in front of you. This is live on the website now, so if you wanted to follow it from your smartphone or tablet, the website is optimized to be able to do this as well. So once you go to the website, you would select this energy efficiency option. On your phone, you'd see like 3 white bars on the top right of the web page. You hit that, it'll give you the drop down these options. If you hover over that energy efficiency tab again. So you get these drop down options. You want that last one that says contractor portal, and that'll bring you to this page the first time you go. The password is IGCEE. It's all lowercase. You should only have to enter it in once every so often. We are working on getting a, go ahead,
What was that again, that password?
IGCEE. We've got it up on the board there for you too.
It's all over.
Yeah, it is all lowercase. So don't capitalize anything in it. I know smart devices sometimes capitalize that first letter when you go to enter in something. So, like I said, you should only have to enter it in once every so often. We are working on setting up on that page that if it ever asks you to log in and you don't have that password, method where you can request that and get an automatic reply with that password back, so you can get right back into it immediately. You don't have to worry about calling us or waiting on hold or any of that. So when you navigate, this is what you'll see. It should be vertical, I believe, on your smart devices. So it's got just some quick contact information for us, our number, and it's option 4 on there. We've got the number up there as well. If you call the customer service 800 number and select option 4, it will ring to someone in energy efficiency directly. It won't go to customer service, won't put you on hold. If we happen to be out of the office or unavailable, we do have a voicemail set up where you can leave a message, and we'll call you back as soon as we're available as well. And as I'm going through this, if you do have questions or anything come up, feel free to ask them. Don't save them to the end, because if you're like me, you're likely to forget that question by the end, or you might miss something that we go over, and then may just hinder everything. So we'll just pop into program overview here real quick. So this is a nice little landing page for you that's got all of our rebate program offerings that we've got, the requirements for the appliances and for the whole home program there. I know with our old program, it used to be they had to be converting from a different fuel source, and it had to be 90% efficiency or greater for a furnace, and that was all we offered. Under the new program, it doesn't matter if they're converting from an old heat source, if they have something that's already high efficient that they're replacing, as long as they're an Intermountain Gas customer, and what is going on our residential rate and what's going in is something that qualifies under that rebate program, they're going to be eligible. Whether it be new construction, retrofit, all of that will fit. So even if you've got a new construction and they're not doing that whole home rebate, but they're putting in like a 95% furnace, they could still get that 95% furnace rebate.
Even though they had one before?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then we'll just pop into news here. This is going to have some relevant information, updates, things like that for you. Anything we put out that we think might be useful information for you guys to know, we'll put on there. Kind of like this Energy Star accreditation reimbursement we've got going on for doing those Energy Star whole home things. You do have to be an Energy Star certified contractor, so we've got $300 accreditation reimbursement that's going on for that. So if you're interested, John's the guy to talk to about that. And so we'll go ahead and pop back out of there. But as we have other updates and things like that come up, you'll see them on that news page. And then,
So is the login just generic? There won't be one per company or per individual that we sign?
correct, yeah, it'll just
Okay,
be that
fine.
generic IGCEE, so anybody and everybody that has that can use it and get in.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then we've got our rebate application section, a nice little place for you guys to get all those forms. We have a couple of things at the bottom here that are just some quick things, like if a customer wants to know what happens after they've submitted their rebate, we've got what that process kind of looks like there. If you just click that plus, it pop it up. So frequently asked questions that we run into. The troubleshooting is mainly for the online form that we're going to go into in a little bit. If you have issues with the online form, there's a couple things that we've run into in our testing of it that we put on there. As you guys have issues and things come up, definitely let us know, and then we can make sure to put those troubleshooting steps on there as well to help others, because if you guys are having those issues, someone else is probably going to run into and have those as well. And then just to touch briefly here, we've got these two here. This download rebate form is where a place you can just access and download the standard rebate form we have. It's the one you just print up. Those of you that have submitted before, this is probably going to look fairly familiar. So it's just that standard form that's available. We've got another one that's for submitting multiple rebates. That would be like if you've got a builder and say he's got 10 homes he's put 95% furnaces in, he wants to get the rebate on them. It's an Excel spreadsheet, so this isn't going to be as friendly on your phone. You will want to access that from a computer. But then this makes it easy, so if they have those 10 homes, instead of filling out 10 of that standard form, you can put all those 10 homes on there, have them sign that Excel sheet once, and then we count that all as one submission. So it reduces the paperwork a little bit for them, makes it a little bit less intensive all around, which is kind of the idea we had there. And lastly, we've got our online form. One of the things we were asked for as soon as we had the rebate program instated was, can we do it online? we want to put that in there online. We want to get it done and through quickly. And we've put in some things to correct some redundancies and help with some things, because as great as the postal service is, every once in a while something still does get lost in the mail. I've had customers call me and they've said, you know, hey, it's been about 9 weeks. I had a rebate application sent in, haven't seen my check. Do you know what's going on with it? And ultimately we never received it. So then we, you know, get them to get it in and get them squared away. But it's just one of those things to help kind of reduce some of those things and some of the kind of odd answers that we get, and I'll go over some of those in a little bit. For those of you familiar with the rebate form, this should look fairly familiar. It's set up exactly like it as far as the information that's on there. I'm gonna have John go ahead and just put in some of that information. So the great thing about this form is we've got the fields we require some kind of response in, asterisk in red. It will not let you submit the form unless those fields have been filled in. If you hit submit and one's been missed, it will tell you something's wrong and it'll highlight that on the field. We'll show that in a little bit. But what's also great about the online form is you can save it at any point. So say you're on site, you're with the customer, you've filled it out and you don't have an invoice there, because we do require that invoice. You can save it and send it to your own email, or you can email it to somebody back at the office that would have access to that. They can attach the invoice and then submit the form. So it can be saved at any point. Same thing could be happen, say you go back to the office and, because we do understand some dealers fill it out for the customer and help them out that way and facilitate it. We don't expect or require that. You can give the customer this link and have them fill it out all by themselves as well. But for those that do it that way, the other thing is you can, say you're at the office, you can fill it out of the office and then send it to the customer for signature. They hit submit and it gets done as well. So go ahead and continue further down the form, John. So yeah, this would be information for you folks as far as who's doing the install and all that we ask for.
I have a question on the,
Yeah,
on that question, is there heat pump installed in the home?
yeah.
So let's say they have a ductless for a bonus room or something like that. Does that disqualify the whole house? The main
That's a good
system's
question.
95% we're putting in, but they've added a
Right,
little
but they've got like a little
ductless-
addition for just one room.
Yeah.
I don't believe it would.
Okay.
Kathy, Laurie,
We would still accept that.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I was
Okay.
thinking too. Yeah, it's mainly like if they've got that.
If it's the main part of
like
the
the main
system.
function, it's the gas is being used as a backup heat system for the home.
Okay.
That's where that would come in. So yeah, if they do have a heat pump, it does have to be wired to the cool only setting for them to be eligible for the rebate. If they're using the gas as a backup, it would make them ineligible for the program if that is the primary heat source. So one of the things that we did restrict is this type of home field. A lot of times we'll see things like stick built, site built, foundation. And so we're really looking for stuff like single family, twin home duplex, apartment, things like that. And so we've got that as a nice little drop down field for you there, so that it's just a nice quick little selection. Once you get to the actual rebate itself, you've got the 3 different appliances. We don't have it for the whole home rebate yet, just because it's not quite there yet functionality wise. So we focused on the appliances to facilitate that. So we'll go with heating incentive for the furnace. If they happen to be installing all 3 qualifying appliances, you would select all 3 check boxes and it would drop down the additional information. So you see here, we've got the information we put in, the permit number. You'd select it's the 95% furnace, put in the equipment information. If they happen to be adding in 2, it's a dual zone system or whatnot, you just hit that add heating equipment, it'll put a second line for you to put that information on there. We get a lot of questions about the heat loss calculated for the home. We aren't requiring that you do like the manual J in that. We are asking that you do something to make sure it's sized correctly. You guys have the experience, you know what it takes to make sure that furnace is sized properly. So that's on there so the customer knows something should be done to make sure the furnace is installed at the right size, because there's no guarantees that what was put in there before was done that way. And these are restricted to numeric values only, primarily because on the furnace size installed, we get a lot of things like 5 ton answered there instead of 60,000 BTUs, which is what we're really interested in there. And then that little upload button is where you would put the copy of your invoice. There's a good number of formats that it takes. I mean, if you have the invoice there and you take a picture of it on your smartphone, you should be able to upload it just from that picture right there on your smart device. And then we'll scroll down just a little bit more. This is where the customer would sign the application. And then, yeah, there we go. And then we'll show you here just with that save functionality. And you can save at any point. It doesn't matter when you do it. And it gives you two different options there. The first option, it gives you a long link to that saved application. So you can copy that into a web browser, email that to yourself, or you just do that, email me my link, you can send it to yourself. Whatever email address you put in there is where it'll send it to. And it'll send you a link that'll take you back to this web page to go fill it, or the customer, or what have you there. And so if you save it, that means there's still something to do with the rebate application that needs to be done. It doesn't send us any kind of notification. We don't know anything's in there until you hit that submit button, or the customer hits that submit button. And there's three things that'll happen when the customer hits that submit button. There will be an email sent to the customer at whatever email address they put in, telling them they've had a form submitted. It'll have their name in the subject line and an application form was submitted. Whatever email address you put on your contractor contact will get an email saying a rebate application was submitted for John Fisk as well, so you guys know that that's done and off the board. And then we get an email saying that that's been submitted and it's ready for that entry. And so we get that immediate feedback that application is there. It just helps with a couple of difficulties that we've had in the past. Like I said, with the mail, we have had issues where some dealers will send scans in by email and it gets hit by the firewall and just doesn't come through. And so by doing this way, it just helps fix some of those redundancies. And the idea and hope is that it facilitates and makes it a little bit easier and quicker to fill out that form and get it submitted for the customer and processed. And that's all that I have. I'll go ahead and turn it back over to John.
Back on that,
Yeah.
where you take a picture of the invoice.
Yes.
That's where you can just attach it to that form.
Yeah, you just hit upload there, and it's probably gonna pull up his file viewer.
Okay.
But yeah, it should give you the option to pull up something from your photos and just put it right in there.
Is there any incentive to the dealer or the contractor, or is it all for the customer?
At this time, it's all being paid to the customer, except for like those training opportunities like that Energy Star training that we've got going on.
Cool.
So right now, we're gonna kind of move to any questions and answer anything that you guys might have. And also, if there's something you don't want to ask or what have you, all our contact information is up front, as well as there's a big pile of business cards in the back. And while we're going around doing the questions, if you could pass that basket along, we've
No,
got
I think this is the only one.
that's the only one you want to use, that's fair.
How everyone else will feel about that.
Yeah, there's a $100 Cabela's gift card up here, so, yeah.
So if we go through if we're done with the job, we leave the job site, we fill it out online,
Yeah.
we add the attachment for our invoice,
Mhm.
and then obviously they need to sign it, so we email it to them, and then we just need to let them know when you sign it, you need to push submit, and then it gets sent to you.
Right, yeah, if that's all they have to do, when you're sending it to
Sign
them, you just hit
and
save, send to that email, just sign it, hit that submit button, and it'll pop up with a message saying thank you for submitting your form right there on the site, and then they'll get that email notification later, and we'll get that notification as well.
Okay.
So it sounds like it's, the rebate can be submitted on site.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the invoice and everything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Is there a generic number that we should be calling if we just need help from, these are specific desktop phone numbers?
Yeah,
You
so
know,
that generic number is this 800 number on the board here.
Okay.
If you call that and select option 4, it'll ring to one of the energy efficiency folks directly. So more likely than not, you'll probably get myself on that.
Okay.
I tend to be the first one on the line to ring it, but John and Kathy are on there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with this technology, so I'm having trouble navigating. I was trying to get into this webpage while you're going, so if ever I have questions regarding accessing it, is there someone I can call and they can walk me through it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call any one of us. Call that 800 number. We can definitely walk you through it. The paper form is going to stay as well. It's not going away anytime soon. We know that that's something that people do prefer on their comfort level sometimes. Some people are just more comfortable with that paper form. So that's going to be there as well. But yeah, if you have any issues getting access to it, just call that 800 number and we can definitely walk you through, get you what you need.
And
Thank
that
you.
password, can we give that out to like our builders? Like, do they just wanna do it on their own, or is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't want to fill out the 10 homes?
Yeah, and if they don't want to go through the portal, you can always just refer them to us, and we'll send that spreadsheet directly to the builder so that they can fill it out. So, yeah, if you
Yeah.
need any resources, definitely reach out to us, and we'll get those directly to them.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen the contractor portal. I think it's great, guys. I could see how this would be really nice to be able to, especially on a retrofit customer, to be sitting there in their living room. And if you're an HVAC contractor, you fill that out right there. And I love the idea that you guys have got it set up so they're gonna get an email confirmation back. They can sign the form right there. There's some immediate feedback there that they're like, hey, this is pretty great. I'm gonna be getting some money back. So I like the way you did it.
Thank you.
So let's say, obviously, the invoice, the job is not complete yet, right?
Mhm.
Because you still have to go out and complete the job. So date fired would be the install date, or would we want to hold off if it's too far out? Like, is there a certain time frame? Like, say it's a week out, 2 weeks out, that you want us to wait? You know what I mean? Saying date fired or submitting it?
Yeah, if we're talking kind of like this season we just got out of July, August and that, where like, you know, it's way too warm to even bother firing it, just put that install date, that's what we'd be looking at that point.
I think also you require the inspection to be complete before the.
Correct.
Before
we'll pay it out, we do require the inspection to be complete, yeah. Yeah, some of you might have seen, those of you that submitted rebates before, if something's been out of order, you've probably seen an email from me, or someone in the office has seen an email from me with what is missing and out of order. And we do try to do that if it's something that we know is gonna be more applicable for you guys. Like if something's wrong with the invoice, we try to go to you guys directly rather than the customer, because you guys are gonna have that information a little bit more readily available to get and get that taken care of. And so that way we can make sure to get them processed in a timely manner and make it as easy as we can for them so they aren't having to chase a lot of stuff down too in that event.
If I remember right, you require the model and serial number on the invoice, is that right, of the
Yes,
equipment?
that is correct. We do require that. If, where this is something you can do right there on site, if the invoice you have on site doesn't have that on there, you can also, in addition to the invoice, just snap a picture of that equipment sticker that's got the model and serial number on it and upload that as well, and we'll take that in conjunction with the invoice as is and accept it that way.
Okay, that's cool. So I mean, when it comes down to it then, we really can't, unless we have that permit number, actually submit the rebate, right?
Right.
So we would just have to save it, wait for the permit number, and then actually submit it.
Correct, yeah.
Cody, you had some of the like top tips type of things that were the most common or most frequent errors, if you will. Is that something that was on there?
I believe.
Yeah, that'd be good, because I know I made a lot of mistakes.
2x4 frame?
Right? Oh, is it, it's on Chrome? Okay. Yeah, let's look here. I don't think I think maybe in the quick tips I had some stuff there. Let me see. It's been a while since I looked at it. No, I didn't really have anything there, other than one of the things is we do ask for the efficiency of the old equipment on there. It's not a requirement to submit, but it's just something that's good for internal tracking, so we have kind of a pulse on how many of these are actual upgrades versus similar type replacements, and just kind of get a feel for what's out there in the valley that's going out and being replaced. But yeah, as far as the main things that we see that are inaccurate on there are gonna be the type of home with that stick built in that. The furnace sizing installed being like 4.5 ton, or I'm trying to think, I've seen some wacky stuff there, but I can't remember anything else off the top of my head with what that is. Outside of that, the biggest thing that we run into is stuff not being put in on the application. So every once in a while we'll get someone that will, for like the heat pump, they'll leave that blank. And so that's something where we have to go back in and get that information from the customer, versus where it's required in the online form, it won't let you submit without those kind of things. So.
Cool.
The online form helps you a ton.
Yeah, it does help me a ton, and that's kind of the idea, is kind of save time on both sides of things to help make sure that it's something that's simple and easy for you and the customer, and something that's easy and simple for us when it comes in, so that it's not having to slow down the process any for anybody involved.
And then if we come to a customer that needs gas to their facility, would we call this number still? And would that be a good way for us to start the process?
No,
No.
you get in touch with some
Brad
of these guys in the
Greg, yeah.
back here, yeah.
Okay.
Brad or Greg or Dave.
Yeah, these typically the ones for that. If you call us, we'd probably route you to customer service to then have an email sent to whoever's applicable and call you back. So.
Cool, well, if there's no more questions, anybody? Yep, Brad? Greg, sorry.
Whoever you are today.
There's a lot of us. A new hire, Dave Drake, so we're gonna be getting some help in the Boise Napa area, so hopefully, we'll even call you back sooner than before, so I'm glad to have him on our team. My question that I get from dealers out there is this gonna morph and change every year? Any update on the water heater, rebate, and that kind of fun stuff?
Gotcha. Yeah, right now, we are looking at additional offerings, changes to the program. Nothing's set in stone yet. We're just working on continuing to grow the program, because this is the first time we've offered anything like this. But we do have changes that will be coming. We hope to offer a commercial rebate at some point. If any of that changes or updates, that contractor portal will live update as those incentive amounts change, things get retired, or new things get added as well.
So let me ask, why are you guys giving rebates? I mean, it's kind of a weird question, but Intermountain Power, I mean, Idaho Power Company, whatever they don't sell, they can sell somewhere else. Whatever you guys don't sell here, what do you, I mean, I appreciate it, I love the idea, but I'm just curious, what's behind it? What's behind it to reduce the amount of gas that you guys are selling? How's that working out?
It's a great question.
Kathy, you want to take that one?
Well, it is a great question, because folks say, your job is to get folks to use less of your product, which is kind of weird. But this is enhanced service for our customers. There's a lot of folks that are interested in reducing their carbon footprint and wise use of resources. It's the same thing for the gas company. The smarter and more efficient that we can use our resources, that's less infrastructure that we build, that's less supply that we buy, and it allows us to serve more with less. And so we're really relying on the high efficient appliances, energy efficient home building to help us achieve that.
Okay.
Okay, just to incent folks to choose and think of high efficiency when they're building and installing appliances.
I think it's great, I just needed, it's a good way to talk to customers.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we appreciate that.
Now, about 4 years ago, there was an aggressive movement to make sure that every new furnace was a 90% or higher rating, and there was a pushback on that law. And, we keep changing our hats, or we change our strategies. I was told also that all our 22 units that were gonna go out in air conditioning by 2012. And then they came out with empty units that we could replace old units with and put our 22 back into. So we in the industry have to keep flexing back and forth as they change these standards. And we've been given a grace period where we can put less than 90% in right now. But I think, for me personally, I would like to have that more efficiency furnace if I upgrade, and to have the, ultimately, you want more customers too, so it's part of the motivation for Intermountain Gas is to make sure, we've got a growing population here in Boise, which is probably gonna double in the next few years.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to place an additional amount of furnaces in here in lieu of heat pumps and electric furnaces. So everybody's trying to get a bigger share of the market, it's coming. And what we find is there's not enough of us out here at times to keep up with this. So I appreciate what you're doing here. I think this is probably one of the most intuitive web pages I've seen lately. even though I can't get into it right now.
Well, if your phone doesn't work, hopefully you can do this from a laptop or desktop, and it's just as easy to access that online
But
form.
I like the idea of partnering with you. I worked with another gas company back in South Dakota, and they were doing the same kinds of things. They were teaching people, even Pacific Power and Gas, they ran the training program,
Okay.
even though they had gas and electric, I think, Pacific Power back there.
Well, we
So-
appreciate
Yeah,
you
thank you.
helping share the energy efficiency message. You have been such an important partner for our program, and we can't thank you enough for helping share that message and helping us with outreach to
Yeah.
customers. So I know they rely on you as the heating experts, as they should, and so being able to share that message with you is really important. So,
You know, there was a
Yeah.
prediction that natural gas was gonna go skyrocketing. Everybody was probably gonna have to go electric until fracking came. Because the new standard for energy generation is instead of using coal, they were gonna use natural gas-fired generators. And where they didn't use the market share of gas before, and now they need it full-time, so they're the better customer for the gas company. And the residential is the ones that suffer. Fracking changed all that. So,
we always appreciate the feedback too, so about the forum or any other part of our program, we're out there hearing what customers are saying, and we appreciate you providing that feedback to us, good, bad, indifferent. So always feel free to reach out to us with any comments or questions that you have.
Great.